Inside a quiet cafe near the river, warm yellow lights and the smell of roasted coffee beans created a calm refuge from the cold weather outside. Daniel Carter sat alone at a small corner table beside the window. His fingers tapped lightly against the ceramic coffee cup in front of him. Tap, tap, tap. He stopped himself. Daniel prided himself on discipline. Habits controlled every part of his life, how he worked, how he exercised, even how he rested. He believed routine was the secret to success. But tonight, his routine had been interrupted. A blind date. He checked his watch again. शाम के 7:12. 7 minutes late. Daniel sighed quietly and leaned back in his chair. This was a mistake, he murmured to himself. Blind dates weren't his thing. His life was filled with board meetings, investor calls, and strategic planning sessions. Conversations were usually about profits, partnerships, or market growth, not awkward small talk with a stranger. Still, his younger sister Emily had insisted. You need a life outside the office, she had said over the phone 3 days earlier. Just meet her once. She's interesting, kind, and smart. Daniel had resisted at first. But Emily rarely gave up when she believed she was right. So here he was. He glanced around the cafe. A young couple laughed softly at the table near the door. A group of college students sat near the counter working on laptops. A barista moved gracefully behind the espresso machine, filling the room with the comforting sound of steaming milk. Everyone seemed relaxed, except him. Daniel checked his watch again. शाम के 7:15 बजे. He stood slightly from his chair. 10 minutes, he thought. That's reasonable. If she's not here by then, I'm leaving. He grabbed his coat from the back of the chair and prepared to go. Just as he did, the bell above the cafe door rang. Daniel looked up automatically. A gust of cold air followed the opening door, bringing the scent of rain inside. Then he heard a soft mechanical hum. At first he didn't understand the sound. Then he saw her. A woman slowly entered the cafe in a sleek electric wheelchair. The conversation in the cafe seemed to soften for a moment, as if people instinctively paused to notice her arrival. She wore a long grey coat, neatly draped over her lap. Her dark hair was braided loosely over one shoulder, and small drops of rain clung to the strands. Her posture was straight and composed. Her eyes scanned the room calmly, as if she had done this many times before. Daniel froze. He hadn't expected this. His mind suddenly raced with uncertainty. Emily never mentioned anything about a wheelchair. The woman looked around for a few seconds. Then her gaze landed on him. Their eyes met. A gentle smile appeared on her face. She slowly guided the wheelchair toward his table. Daniel, she asked. Her voice was warm and confident. Daniel cleared his throat. Yes, that's me. I'm Sophia, she said. She extended her hand. Sophia Bennett. Daniel quickly shook her hand. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, she replied. She positioned her wheelchair beside the table with practiced ease. Sorry I'm late, she said. Elevators and rainy sidewalks don't always cooperate. Daniel forced a polite smile. No problem. But inside, he felt awkward and uncertain. Not because of her, but because he didn't know how to behave. He had met hundreds of executives, investors, and politicians in his career. Negotiations worth millions of dollars didn't make him nervous. Yet this simple situation left him strangely uncomfortable. Should he ask about the wheelchair? Would that be rude? Should he pretend it wasn't there? The silence stretched slightly. A waitress approached their table. Good evening. What can I get you? Sophia looked up at her with an easy smile. Green tea, please. The waitress turned to Daniel. Coffee, he said quickly. Coming right up. The waitress walked away. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Outside, rain tapped gently against the large glass windows. Daniel glanced at his watch again, almost unconsciously. Sophia noticed. Her eyes flickered toward the watch, then back to his face. You're wondering how soon you can leave, she said calmly. Daniel's head snapped up. What? No, She raised her hand slightly. It's okay, she said kindly. He looked embarrassed. I didn't mean. You didn't say anything, Sophia interrupted gently. But people's habits speak loudly. The word hung in the air. Habits. Daniel leaned back slightly. I guess I'm just not great at blind dates, he admitted. Sophia smiled faintly. Most people aren't. The waitress returned and placed their drinks on the table. Steam curled upward from the cups. Daniel wrapped his hands around his coffee mug, grateful for something to focus on. So, Sophia said lightly, Emily tells me you run a company. Daniel nodded. Yes, a logistics technology firm. That sounds intense. It can be. Another quiet moment passed. Daniel looked out the window. Cars slid through the wet streets, splashing through puddles. He mentally calculated how long he had been there. 15 minutes. He could leave soon without being rude. But Sophia spoke again. You know, she said thoughtfully, blind dates are funny things. Daniel looked at her. How so? Two strangers sitting across from each other, she said. Each one trying to decide if the other person fits the story they imagined. Daniel considered that. And do I fit your story? He asked. She tilted her head slightly. Not exactly. He raised an eyebrow. Why not? Because you seem like someone who plans everything. Daniel laughed softly. That obvious. Very. And you? He asked. What about me? Did I fit your expectations? She thought for a moment. No, she admitted. Daniel frowned slightly. Why not? Her eyes sparkled with quiet amusement. Because you didn't run away when you saw the wheelchair. Daniel looked surprised. Why would I run away? Sophia gave a small shrug. You'd be surprised how often people do. Daniel didn't know what to say. The honesty caught him off guard. He looked at her again, studying her more carefully now. She didn't seem bitter or angry. Instead, she seemed calm, comfortable with herself. Finally Daniel spoke quietly. If you don't mind me asking, what happened? Sophia held her teacup gently between her hands. A car accident, she said simply. Her tone was calm, almost peaceful. 5 years ago. Daniel nodded slowly. I'm sorry. She shrugged softly. Life changes. Rain continued to fall outside, though more softly now. For a moment they both sat quietly. Daniel felt something unexpected happening. The awkwardness he felt earlier was slowly fading. Sophia suddenly smiled again. You know what's interesting? She said. What? Before my accident, I hated waiting. Daniel chuckled. I still do. She laughed lightly. But after months in a hospital bed, waiting becomes part of life. Her eyes moved toward the window. And strangely, that's where I learned the most powerful habit of my life. Daniel leaned forward slightly. What habit? Sophia looked back at him. Her smile was quiet but genuine. Inside the cafe, the warmth of the room wrapped around Daniel and Sophia like a soft blanket. Daniel sat still, his coffee cup resting between his hands. Gratitude, he repeated, slightly confused. Sophia nodded. Yes. She lifted her teacup slowly, letting the steam rise toward her face before taking a small sip. Daniel watched her carefully now. Earlier, he had only noticed the wheelchair. Now he noticed something else, her calmness. Her presence filled the space around the table with an unusual sense of peace. That's the most powerful habit you learned? He asked. Sophia smiled faintly. It saved my life. Daniel leaned forward. How? Sophia rested her hands on the table. When I woke up in the hospital after the accident, everything felt broken, she said quietly. My body, my plans, my future. Daniel listened without interrupting. I had built my whole life around control, she continued. Work harder, move faster, win bigger. Daniel felt an uncomfortable sense of recognition. That sounded exactly like him. But when the doctors told me I would never walk again, Sophia paused. Her voice remained steady. For months, I was angry at everything. She looked down at the tea swelling gently in her cup. I blamed the driver who hit me. The doctors, the world. Daniel nodded slowly. That's understandable. Yes, she said. But anger is exhausting. She leaned back slightly. One morning, a therapist walked into my room with a strange exercise. Daniel raised an eyebrow. What kind of exercise? She told me every morning I had to say, thank you, for 3 things. Daniel frowned slightly. That sounds simple. Oh, I hated it at first. Sophia laughed softly. Thank you for what? She continued. For the fact that I couldn't move my legs. Daniel remained quiet. But the therapist insisted, Sophia said. Every morning. 3 things. So you did it. Reluctantly. Her eyes brightened slightly as she remembered. The first day I said ridiculous things. She lifted a finger. Thank you for the hospital coffee. Another finger. Thank you for the nurse who opened the window. A third finger. Thank you for the sunlight. Daniel smiled faintly. That doesn't sound ridiculous. It did to me at the time, she replied. But something strange happened after a few weeks. What? My brain started looking for good things automatically. Daniel leaned closer. What do you mean? I would wake up thinking, Sophia said slowly, what can I be grateful for today? She gestured around the cafe. A warm drink, a kindness, a phone call from a friend. Her voice softened. Eventually, gratitude became a habit. Daniel stared at his coffee. His mornings were completely different. Emails, deadlines, problems. Complaints, stress. When I finally returned to work, Sophia continued, I brought that habit with me. Daniel looked up again. What did you do? I changed our company culture. How? Every meeting starts with one simple question. She paused for a moment. What are we grateful for today? Daniel blinked. In a business meeting. Yes. And people actually do it. Sophia nodded. At first they thought it was strange. I can imagine. But something amazing happened, she said with a small smile. Productivity increased. Daniel laughed lightly. You were joking. I'm serious. How does gratitude increase productivity? Because it changes how people see problems, she explained. Daniel crossed his arms thoughtfully. Explain that. Most companies focus on what's wrong, Sophia said. Deadlines missed, numbers falling, clients unhappy. Daniel nodded slowly. That's true. But when people start with gratitude, she continued, their minds become more open. To what? Solutions. Daniel stared at her for a moment. He had spent years studying leadership strategies, management systems, and productivity methods. None of them mentioned gratitude. And it works? He asked quietly. Sophia smiled. Better than most strategies I've tried. Daniel leaned back in his chair. For the first time that evening, he realized something. He had stopped checking his watch. Earlier he had been counting the minutes until he could leave. Now he was completely absorbed in the conversation. Sophia noticed the change. You seem less eager to escape now, she said playfully. Daniel laughed. You noticed that too. Habits are easy to spot, she replied. He nodded. I almost left before you arrived. I suspected. But now, he admitted, I'm glad I didn't. Sophia looked at him quietly. Thank you. The word was simple, but the way she said it carried warmth and sincerity. Daniel felt something shift inside him. For years he had measured success by numbers, profit, growth, efficiency. But sitting across from Sophia, he realized something surprising. Peace. She seemed genuinely at peace. Despite everything she had gone through. Can I ask you something? Daniel said. Of course. Do you ever miss walking? For the first time that evening, Sophia hesitated. Her eyes drifted toward the window where raindrops slid slowly down the glass. Yes, she said softly. Every day. Daniel felt a sudden weight in his chest. But, she added gently, I also gained something. What? A different way of seeing life. She looked back at him. Before the accident, I rushed through everything. She tapped the table lightly. Now I notice small things. Like what? The smell of coffee. Daniel inhaled slightly. The rich aroma filled the cafe. The sound of rain. They both listened for a moment to the quiet tapping against the windows. And conversations with strangers who didn't run away. Daniel smiled. I'm glad I stayed. So am I, she said. A comfortable silence settled between them. The rain outside had finally stopped.